The spring 2020 season has literally just gone started. We got Kaguya-sama episode 1. We got a lot of new shows, so instead of milking the infinite possibility that is reaction videos, I've decided to talk about a show that no one has ever heard about. In fact, is a season 2. I'm talking about Jashin-chan Dropkick season 2. So why am I talking about Jashin-chan Dropkick season 2, you might ask? Well, it's because it's over. It's all over. All episodes are out. It's completely finished. And it's not because it's a one-off thing. It's not a movie. It's all 11 episodes are released. You can watch all 11 episodes on Crunchyroll literally right now. So you might be wondering, Roion, how did they get all 11 episodes out already? You know, the trailer for Jashin-chan Dropkick Season 2 shows that the air times are going to be for ATX, which is a television network in Japan. So how did they get all 11 episodes? Did someone leak it and they just said, screw it, let's put it all on Crunchyroll? Well, no. It has to do with the fact that Season 1 isn't on Crunchyroll. You might be wondering, well, where am I going with this? Well, you see, Season 1 is funded entirely by Amazon. So Amazon scooped up the rights to that and migrated it over to Amazon Prime Video. I expect the same will happen to Season 2 eventually when all of Season 2 has aired. Despite the fact that all 11 episodes are out on Crunchyroll right now, they are still airing it one episode at a time with a fabled 12th episode in the works, or rather it's already out. More on that later because that's kind of an interesting story on its own. So why does any of this matter? Who cares that all of Season 2 is out? Who cares that they put it all on Crunchyroll at the same time? Don't worry, I will talk about Jashin-chan Dropkick Season 2, like the actual show later. I want to talk about the shift in the industry that could be coming, and this is maybe like a taste of what is to come, because I don't watch TV. Do you watch TV? There's no way you watch TV. You're watching this right now. See, nobody watches TV nowadays, and once the boomers are all gone, well then there will be no reason to watch TV. And with ratings plummeting and money, not being made from anime, what's the natural conclusion? You're seeing it right now. We have these big investors. We've got Netflix, we've got Amazon, we've even got Apple TV to a certain extent. There's some rumors floating around here and there that they're going to invest in anime because it helps them pad their service. They can say, like, look, we have this huge catalog, you can come watch, you can come subscribe. And as people dump more and more money into this industry, I think this is the way we're going to be moving. So right now there are two main approaches, or rather there's the Amazon, I guess the Jashin Dropkick way, or the Netflix way. So we know Netflix does fund a lot of shows, and then they plaster the Netflix original onto the show. So the way Netflix does it is they let the show air in Japan and they do their thing, but when they bring it over to the West, they don't just add subtitles. They don't go one episode at a time. They wait for the whole thing to finish airing, and once the whole thing is finished airing, then they perform the localization process, they dub it, and the show has to be dubbed. At least the first season. The first season must be dubbed no matter what, because on the off chance an Uber Chad or someone that's not weeb watches an anime, they need the dub there, because the dub is like something that they would feel a lot more comfortable watching. I know some people feel a lot more comfortable watching dubs, and I totally get it, because reading subtitles is kind of a chore sometimes to people who aren't used to it. So they have to have the dub there as an option, especially on the first season, so that people have a general idea of what's going on. A good example would be something like Saikiksuo no Sai-nan. That show is super Japanese. The jokes are, kind of slapstick. You can kind of get some of the jokes sometimes, but later on, a lot of the jokes get really, really Japanese, and they just dropped it. So season 1 is dubbed. Saikiksuo no Sai-nan. Netflix dubbed the first season, but they didn't dub the second season. A good example where they dubbed the whole thing would be Kakegurui. Kakegurui got really, really popular on the platform, so they dubbed season 1, they dubbed season 2, and it's all good from there. Those are the two best examples that Netflix has to offer for their localization take, but at the end of the day, for both instances, even for Saikiksuo no Sai-nan or Kakegurui, you had to wait for subtitles from like a fan subber, because they wouldn't sub it. They wouldn't sub it as it's coming out. There's no one picking it up, so the only way you would be able to watch it legally is to wait for the whole thing to end, and then once the whole thing's over, you wait like 6 months, and then they localize it. But I will give credit where credit is due, because the Netflix localizations are not that bad. They are definitely pretty good, and not just for the English language. For all my French speakers out there, their French dubs are not too bad. Sure, they recycle the same 2 or 3 voice actors, but the script writing is fine. The script adaptations are, they work. The jokes are translated to a adequate potential. On the other hand, we have this binge style. Like Jashin-chan Dropkick isn't the only one that does this, but essentially what they're doing is they dump the whole show on you in one go. You don't have to wait weekly. The show is aired completely finished. They did that with Castlevania. Well, obviously because Castlevania didn't need to be localized, but for foreign shows that need to be localized, sometimes they will just dump the entire thing onto the service with English subtitles only, because the kind of people that would watch this show new are probably the kind of people like you and me who just don't really care that much about an English dub. I mean, if it's there, maybe I'll give it a shot, but for the most part, I can make do with subtitles. There's going to be a great streaming war sometime in the future as these, different corporations battle to see who's going to be on top in terms of streaming services. And I don't really care who wins the battle unless they give me money, Crunchyroll, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video. But essentially what I care about and what you probably care about is the way the battle is waged. Are they going to be doing it Netflix style where they just want to pad their own catalog for future use, where they withhold the shows until it's finished airing on TV, and then they do this kind of localization stuff later where we then get it when it has a dub? Or are they going to dump the whole thing on us with a dub to come, sometime in the future? Maybe it'll be on the platform, but they won't kind of put it on the front page. It'll be there. It just won't be recommended to normies. You have to really hunt for it. You have to dig into it. You have to type it into the search bar or something. Or maybe they'll strike a balance like Funimation where they'll do a simuldub, but I don't really hold my hope up for simuldubs just because the only simuldub I ever really experienced was the Danganronpa 3, V3, the ending, Hope arc, all that stuff. It was bad. I don't know how else to put it. I'm sure the people writing the scripts were great people and they just maybe had some time constraints because it was really, really bad. The script writing and the delivery felt like it was rushed. It felt like they had only 1 week turnaround where they had to get the episode from Japan on the day it aired, and then they had to say, hey, we have the script now. Let's write the script. Let's film it. Let's get the cutting right. Let's get all the music and all the voice acting right at the same time and then air it on the next week. Like, they had no time at all. So maybe I'll give simuldubs another shot. But as it is right now, I am not holding my hope up for simuldubs. Given these three options, well, I guess there's another option where they could just release it one episode at a time and just put subs on it and then dub it when it's completely over. Just put one episode at a time on the service. I mean, I think they do that for Korean dramas, I believe, but I'm not too sure. I don't really watch that many Korean dramas. But given these three options, I would probably go for the just drop it all on us with the subtitles and we'll just go from there. That's right, I'd rather they murder any form of weekly online discussion than having to wait months until they put the show out with some kind of a good dub. Like, the dub is good, the localization will be good because they'll have time to work on it. Also, I don't want to get dabbed on by these raw watching chads who understand the Japanese language. They're going to know exactly what's going to go on. I mean, I can understand a certain amount of Japanese. I can read manga as long as it has furigana in it. But I can't understand anime so long as they speak too quickly or they talk about some high concept thing like It Invaded or maybe a Studio Trigger show that's an anime only. If they watch the raws, then these people are going to just spoil everything. They're going to spoil everything out there. Like, a good example would be Persona 5 Royale. Persona 5 Royale was supposed to be controlled by Atlas, but they didn't control anything because I saw spoilers from the Japanese version in a YouTube thumbnail like months before the game got released. So I know exactly what's going to happen. I know what the new plot line is. I know who the new character is. Like, everything's been spoiled for me already. I want to avoid that as much as possible. Ideally, they would do a simultaneous release of everything internationally, but let's be real here. If anime focused on an international audience, it would lose the je ne sais pas quoi, it would lose the special, Japanese-ness that makes anime so good. Like, we'd lose lollies, right? Those would be exempt because the West hates that kind of thing, and they would be like, for an international release, we can have that happen. Just look at, like, Resident Evil 3 Remake. They had to get rid of Jill's skirt because it wouldn't fly in America. When you go international, you have to bend the knee to Twitter because Twitter is just ultimately too powerful. I don't know how we're going to stop Twitter and their lynch mobs, but maybe we'll find a way someday. Anyways, that's really all I have to say on, like, this topic. I want to shift gears right now and talk about actual Jashin-chan Dropkick Season 2. In Jashin-chan Dropkick Season 2, the comedy has shifted to be more self-aware. So I'd say, like, Season 1 is, like, Daily Lives of High School Boys or Nichijou. It's got, like, a really good comedy. It's got some slapstick in it. It's good to the point where you don't really have to be really Japanese to understand some of the jokes. Well, some of the jokes require that you be really, really Japanese to understand them. But they do stuff like making a Payday 2 reference. They made a Payday reference. They made all kinds of Western references. They make some really good pop culture references. There's some good slapstick humor. There's all that in Season 2. But Season 2 kind of dabbles into the abridged styled comedy. You know, the type of comedy that's really, really self-aware? So in Season 1, they never destroy the fourth wall. The fourth wall remains intact. We just look in and enjoy the comedy. But in Season 2, the fourth wall is rendered into absolute rubble as Yurine and Jashin just destroy it. They talk about their YouTube channel. They talk about Twitter. There's some Twitter trolls. I believe those are some real tweets that they're making fun of where people make fun of Jashin-chan. And they call out Jashin-chan. They're like, why is the show called Jashin-chan Dropkick when you never dropkick in, like, Season 1? So in Season 2, Jashin makes it a point to dropkick as many times as possible in order to dab on the haters. The only thing missing from Jashin-chan Dropkick Season 2 is a literal dab. If Jashin actually dabbed, that would have been amazing. Maybe a little bit cringe, but it would have been epic for sure. And anyways, that's really all I have to say. Wait. Actually, I have more to say because I mentioned previously that it's 11 episodes, but we have one more episode to go. So we're all waiting for this mysterious 12th episode. It's going to be called Jashin-chan Dropkick Chitose Hen, which translates to Jashin-chan Dropkick Problem in Chitose or Event in Chitose. They're doing something in Chitose, and you might be wondering, why are they doing it in Chitose? What is Chitose? Is Chitose the name of a person? Well, actually, Chitose is the name of a town, and what they did was they took the town's tax money and they used it to fund this episode of Jashin-chan Dropkick. So according to Mal News, this episode will be funded through Chitose's hometown tax program, a system that allows taxpayers who live in urban areas to contribute to taxes that apply to rural residents. Taxpayers who contribute over 2,000 yen are then awarded in credit to reduce their income tax and residence tax. The hometown tax program will also be this episode's focus. So from what I gather, this mysterious episode 12, when it airs, or at least when it comes out with the Blu-rays and someone rips it for me, essentially what it's going to be is it's going to be a kind of infomercial funded by the government, or rather funded by your taxpayers' money going towards an infomercial episode of Jashin-chan where she talks about the hometown tax program. I am not going to claim that I know what the hometown tax program is because the Wikipedia article is pretty sparse, but from what I gather, it's some way to like incentivize people to move out of Tokyo and towards the other parts of Japan, because Japan is really, well, it's not that big, but a lot of people that live in Japan just live in Tokyo. Like a huge percent of the population is just located in Tokyo, with a lot of older or aging people on the outskirts or just living in the countryside. They're trying to get more young people to, move out towards the countryside, if I understand this correctly, but I honestly probably don't. Citation needed. Anyways, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know down in the comments, who are you supporting? Are you an Amazon bro? Are you a Netflix bro? Are you a Crunchyroll bro who doesn't care about any of those other shows that come packaged with Amazon Prime Video and Netflix? Or maybe you're a pirate bro who doesn't pay for anime at all. That's fine too. And I'll see you guys on the next one.